picture this. Solana is making headlines again, not just on crypto Twitter, but in boardrooms of big banks and hedge funds. And I know Solana had an insane rally to around $208 and has been correcting since then. But that doesn't mean it's over. While most people are staring at the Sol chart, the smart play is digging deeper into the ecosystem where new projects are lining up for big upside. That's what we're doing today. I'm breaking down the latest Solana news, then sharing some solid projects in the ecosystem. If you've been waiting for the next big wave in Solana, this might be it. But there is one problem. I noticed only 20% of you are subscribed with the bell notifications on, so if you want to catch these picks before the rest of the crowd, I highly suggest you subscribe and turn on notifications. Now, let's get into it, starting with some massive Solana updates. Solana just shattered expectations by hitting over 100,000 transactions per second during a test. Although real activity is still a lot lower, this milestone shows how much potential Solana has to handle transactions when activity ramps up. In other news, Solana's community is considering a game-changing upgrade that could drop confirmation times from 12 seconds down to 100 milliseconds. It's called the Alpenglow upgrade, and it would completely change the way consensus works on the network. In simple terms, if the vote for this upgrade passes, everything on Solana is going to get a lot faster. So we know that things are looking good for Solana's future, especially when retail truly comes back. But what moves can we make to prep for this during the downtime? Well, if you're someone who would rather play the Sol coin instead of looking into the ecosystem, you're going to need a good exchange. And I just partnered up with BTCC to bring the Solana community a killer offer. They're officially licensed in the US, Canada, Europe, and more, and they don't need a VPN or KYC. You've probably heard me say this, but it's good to have multiple exchanges under your belt, especially because each of them has bonuses you can take advantage of. With the link down below, you'll get a 10% deposit bonus and up to $10,000 in rewards. Not only that, but I'm planning on building trading guides, portfolio spreadsheets, and more for those who sign up and make a deposit with my link in the description down below. Check out BTCC while the offer is still up, and be sure to let me know what you think of it. Once we're set up on BTCC, here's my personal strategy for Solana. Right now, Sol is showing strong fundamentals with major upgrades and ecosystem growth driving momentum, but it's still one of the most volatile large caps in crypto. That makes it a prime candidate for a leveraged trading plan as long as risk is handled carefully. If we see retracements into big support zones, those could be good spots for entries. The goal is to not chase green candles, but to position after pullbacks when momentum shows signs of bouncing. For leverage, I'm going to keep it low since Solana is already volatile enough and it's not smart to risk liquidation in a volatile market. But of course, this all depends on your personal situations, risk tolerance, and long-term portfolio plan. If you need help figuring out your own plan along with a solid profit-taking strategy, then come and join us in the FireHustle VIP Discord. We have tons of community members in there talking about their own setups, and you can find the link in the description below. Now let's dive into some of the projects I've been looking at on Sol recently. First of all is Tars AI. Tars is positioning itself as one of the strongest AI infrastructure plays on Solana. While a lot of AI projects lost momentum during the recent market pullbacks, the Tars team kept their foot on the gas, building partnerships and shipping updates without slowing down. They've got the backing of the Solana Foundation, and their ecosystem is growing fast with products like Tars GPT, a crypto-focused chatbot, a research center, an AI agent marketplace, and Sona, the first AI assistant designed for the Solana Seeker phone. And I think that's the biggest point right now. The Seeker is Solana's new Web3 smartphone with a secure seed vault and fingerprint access. With this, you don't have to sit there pressing buttons on a ledger to try buying a coin that already mooned, rug pulled, got CTO'd, and then just rug pulled again by the time you could even buy it. But Solana has been pushing hard to bring high quality apps to this phone, and the fact that Tars is able to be featured on it is definitely a great sign. Besides that, what really stands out with Tars is the big moves they've made recently. The team was invited to take part in NVIDIA's GPU Technology Conference in Taiwan, connecting with some of the biggest names in the global AI space. On top of that, they were accepted into the Apple Developer Program, opening the door to bring tools like Sona and Tars GPT into the iOS ecosystem, which would be a big help for adoption. Looking at the charts, Tars has been in a downtrend after its all-time high of over $200 million in market cap back in December of 2024. But the same can be said for the AI sector as a whole. What matters is how Tars will react once the spotlight comes back to this narrative, but the fact that the team is still building is a good sign. Now let's move on to another project that's a fan favorite on this channel, and for good reason. I'm talking about Griffin. More specifically, we're going to go over some important updates I shared on Twitter earlier. By the way, Twitter gets a lot of my alpha way earlier than YouTube, so if you want to win this altcoin season, I suggest dropping a follow. So here's what I went over in the tweet. When you look at the AI and DeFi space, every project is trying to position itself as the leader before the narrative takes off again. But here's the catch. Most of them are still building in a vacuum. They're stuck catering to the crypto echo chamber instead of people who are actually going to decide who wins, which are the everyday retail users. This is why Griffin's coffee story became such a turning point. And I'm sure my Griffin audience remembers it. When the Griffin team revealed how they were spending some time working on a feature to order coffee straight to someone's doorstep, people mocked it and asked why they were wasting so much time on coffee. But the whole point was completely missed. That demo wasn't about coffee, it was about showing how AI and crypto can quietly slot into someone's daily routine in a way that feels natural. If a product can't do that, it'll never break out into mass adoption. That's what you need to understand. Think about how Shopify works. Millions of people buy things from Shopify-powered stores every single day, yet almost none of them know or care that Shopify even exists. What they care about is the checkout works, it's seamless, and it solves their problem in seconds. That's the same model crypto AI projects have to adopt if they want a shot at hooking retail. If no project or sector can do that, then you better believe that retail liquidity is going straight into Dogecoin and Shiba. But luckily, Griffin understands this better than most. They're building tools and experiences that enterprises can plug into that regular people can actually interact with. And they're doing it on Solana, which is rapidly turning into the home for mobile-first apps. You've got projects like Virtuals moving over to the chain, top-tier app builders stepping in to help scale adoption, and now even hardware like the Seeker phone pushing the ecosystem directly into people's pockets. So now that I went out and got confirmation myself that the team is heads down on development, all that's left to do, in my opinion, is wait until the spotlight comes back. Think about it. Do you think they're really not building out any updates or working to improve the product they spent years building? Or do you think they understand that it's not worth it to share these updates when the markets aren't moving at all? If I were in their shoes, I'd hold off on posting updates until the sector is moving again, because at that point, every update is going to move the price by a much bigger margin. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And if I haven't annoyed you off the video by this point, I got some more picks for you. This one came straight from my comment section. It's called Avo, and it basically hosts different AI agents that trade on Solana. You can then invest in these agents and earn returns based on how they perform. There are wallet tracker agents and KOL tracker agents with different risk levels. And another cool feature is the index section. These are basically baskets of tokens you can create or invest in on the platform, like this CoinGecko trending coins index here. Avo tells you how all of these agents and indexes perform over time. So if an agent is making terrible trades and losing money, it'll reflect on the charts. Speaking of charts, Avo is a very small project with a market cap under $5 million. So be aware that it does come with some risk. But honestly, I like what they're making here, and I can see the appeal of people wanting bots to trade for them. Instead of having to go through the complicated process of setting up a bot, Avo makes it as simple as just clicking a few buttons. So if you remember what I said about AI projects needing to make things as simple as possible for new retail traders, these guys are doing a great job of that. Now here's one more project I found recently, and they just launched their token. It's called Caesar. So Caesar describes itself as the world's most trusted AI research platform, focused on high-stakes situations where accuracy really matters. The team says it outperforms models like ChatGPT and Grok on benchmarks, and the goal is to create answers that are reliable and backed up by proper sourcing. If I can't find the right information, it will keep researching instead of just giving you something false, which is a big problem I noticed with ChatGPT. The project positions itself more for research, while ChatGPT is seen as a general purpose assistant. Backing for Caesar comes from angels connected to companies like Google, Stripe, Meta, Animoca Brands, and Centrifuge, which shows that there's already strong interest behind it. Of course, with any new project making big claims, it's important to stay cautious and see how it develops. But if Caesar can really do a good job at what they're promising, it could become an important tool in the AI space. So to wrap this all up, Solana is showing everyone why it's still one of the strongest ecosystems in crypto. We covered Tars AI, building infrastructure, and plugging into the Seeker phone. We looked at Griffin taking a retail-first approach that could bring adoption far past the crypto echo chamber, and we broke down some newer plays like Avo and Caesar. So the question now is whether you're positioning early or waiting until the crowd comes rushing back in. Timing is everything in this market, and the projects we went over today might not stay quiet for long. If you want to catch these moves before everyone else, then make sure you're paying attention now. And that's it for today. Remember, just because I'm talking about a project doesn't mean you should blindly invest in it. None of this is financial advice. As always, do your own research and understand the risk before making any investment decisions. If you're interested in the projects I'm watching closely, then come and join me in the FireHustle VIP Discord. The link is in the description below. And if you want more videos like this, then hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.